Hello and welcome to today's episode of Real Life Perspective by Filmmaker. Now, as you know, our Christmas videos are about to come out this week. It would be Friday this week, next week Friday, and the following week Monday, because that Monday will be the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and posting a Christmas video after Christmas Eve, after Christmas, would be kind of pointless, don't you think? So instead of having a talking episode on Monday and a episode on Friday, we're going to have a episode on Monday and a talking episode on Friday, reviewing what we did that day. So, on that note, this Friday we're doing a video that we had a lot of fun with. It's about Black Friday, and we use some slow motion in it. So, for that we're going to have some slow motion tips. So, if you're ever going to be doing slow motion, I'd assume you're going to be using 60 frames per second, but if you're lucky enough to have more than that, congratulations, but this applies even more to you. You're going to need lots and lots of light, because if you don't have lots of light, it's going to come out very, very choppy, whereas lots of light helps the camera sensor to capture the movement a lot better and make it seem a lot less choppy and more fluid. Also, you can make sure that you can keep your camera steady. It'll be fantastic because this movement at 30 frames per second won't look quite as obnoxious as it would at 60 frames per second, because it's going to get back to where it needs to be. And if you slow it down, it's going to be really, really obnoxious. So, it's very important that you keep your camera very steady. However, if you're shooting running gun like we did, guerrilla style, yeah, that may not always be an option because it draws a lot more attention to you. So, on that, I'm going to give you some camera suggestions, because some cameras are better for it than others. For example, the one I use is $140. It's called the Kodak PlaySport. It's a nice little running gun camera. It has very nice color contrast, and it has very nice autofocus on it, which is great for running gun shoots like that. It shoots 1080p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 30 frames per second, 720p at 60 frames per second with native image stabilization, which is the best native image stabilization I've ever seen, probably because it's meant for shooting sporting events, which also means that it's shockproof if it's dropped up to 3 meters, I believe. So, no, up to 1 meter. So you can drop it from your waist, basically. It should be fine. It's waterproof up to 3 meters, which is fantastic. I haven't tried ever going past that. I'd assume you probably can. It's just precautionary. Also, if you have more money than that, of course, which I'm considering getting for Christmas because it'd be an amazing treat to myself, is the new GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition. It runs for about $400, but it shoots 1080p at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, which is fantastic because most cameras don't do that. You can also shoot at 2.7K resolution, which this is not slow motion, but it's fantastic, at 12 frames per second, which you think, oh, when can I use that? Well, if you're going to do time-lapse, oh my, you have 2.7K resolution, which is absolutely amazing. Which kind of makes you wonder, why for 400 can you get 12 frames per second when you think all you have to do is double it, and for 800 you get 2.7K resolution at 24 frames per second, which would be cinematic speed. So you kind of wonder what people are doing out there. But anyways, 720p, still in a 16:9 aspect ratio, you can get 120 frames per second, which is absolutely unheard of in any camera below, I'd say, $3,000 for $400, which is absolutely, still makes you think, what are camera companies doing out there? And I'm really wondering. I'm guessing because of that and the Blackmagic that have come out, you're going to see some significant changes in the world of HDSLRs to try and compete with them in the next couple of years. Anyways, aside from that, you can also shoot 240 frames per second, but it's only in 480p resolution, which, if you ask me, is usable, again, if you get enough light and your image is stable enough. So, it's up to you. Trust for yourself, look it up, do your research. But thank you for watching today's episode of Real Life Perspective by Filmmaker, and I hope you have some slow motion-y fun in your life, especially this Christmas time. Thanks for watching.